slaughterhouse in the UK. This slaughterhouse kills cows, dairy cows, and beef cows. And on approach, it absolutely stinks. Please make sure to double tap the stream. We need the likes as much as possible, as fast as possible, to get the room full for when the animals turn up. A little disclaimer. I want to let everyone know that we're here today not to cause alarm, harassment, or distress, or any form of intimidation. We're here today with our right to assembly and our freedom of speech. We're using our freedom on public property to expose what these animals have to suffer and endure and go through today for optional products. When you come into this live stream, please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan already. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation. And 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Make sure that you subscribed, hit the bell notification, and double tap the stream. Our second disclaimer is that we're not here to clash with non-vegans. We're not here to point fingers and call names. We're here to come alongside you and show you the realities. We weren't born vegan, but we saw the truth, and that's why we changed. And this is our objective today, is to show you the reality and the truth. Oh my gosh, this place.
In there already.
Oh my God.
See the truck in there already?
Yeah, trucks are in there already.
They've already unloaded some cows.
They're killing here already this morning. You can smell that they're killing animals inside this place. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. We're here today live outside of the slaughterhouse to bring you the realities and the truths that the industries try so hard to keep from good people. Please make sure you double tap the stream when you come in. The likes in the stream make significant difference to the animals.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Alex.
Who's in the chat here? Who have we got?
Yeah, we got Alex Activism, Edward, we've got Ben, we've got Martin, Vegan Tutorial, Bo Loves Trees, loads of people. Also,
Thank you all for being here, guys. It means the world to us, your support for being in here to help defend the animals, and it makes a huge difference to the algorithm. Getting that many likes straight away, getting the comments flowing straight away makes a huge difference. Good people go vegan when they see the truth. Bad people stay oppressing animals when they find out the reality of what they're paying for.
Yeah.
Today, our objective is to bring that truth to you through a live stream. We're here live. This industry has to pay billions and billions and billions of pounds and dollars to keep the indoctrination and the smoke and mirrors over the public and consumers' eyes. We come here with one lens, live, to show you the reality and the truth. One thing that I want was going to stand out today, before I tell you, put a 1 in the chat if you're vegan, put a 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded and you're a kind person, you have a good heart, but you're just not vegan yet. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Make sure that bell notification is hit where you're subscribed.
There you go. Security just turned up now.
Security are turning up here now. They're going to put this, what's this called, a gate on from automatic to manual. And this is what I was going to say. When the animals come here today, watch how much the industry don't even want you to see them. All we're going to do is we're going to show you their eyes and their ears and their little noses poking out the trucks as they come around this corner to go into the slaughterhouse, which is behind me. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Yeah, let's show them inside of a slaughterhouse. Show them up over the top, show them what goes on.
Everyone.
Security are now out to run this gate manually. I want you to take note of everything that the industry does to keep the truth and the reality from your eyes and your ears. Because when good people see the truth and the reality, guess what they do? They go vegan, they stop supporting this evil industry, and then guess what happens to their profit margins? Their profit margins sink, and these industries will crumble and collapse. These industries are absolutely evil, abhorrent industries that should never, ever, ever have been formed in the first place. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3, oh my gosh.
Yes, stink.
Guys, the smell here is so bad. The wind is blowing this way from the kill floor out. All I can smell is like metallic iron, blood, and I've got this blunt human nose. Cows can smell up to 5 miles away. Can you imagine being brought here to be executed today? The fear-inducing terror that you must face as you come down this road and start to smell the insides of animals and the blood and the guts and the fear in the animals' eyes as they go in there. We've seen dogs come past the front of this slaughterhouse and they cower because they can smell what happens inside here. It's absolutely horrific. 1 in the chat if you're vegan already and you've already removed your support for this violent industry. Put a 2 in the chat, spam 2s in the chats. If you're a good, kind person, but you're not vegan yet, maybe you've not seen any animal rights material or media, and maybe this is the first time you're hearing these conversations, put a 3 in the chat if you're an anti-vegan. I want to let you know that the majority of the world may not be vegan, but the majority of the world is not a number 3. The majority of the world is a number 2. kind people who just haven't seen the full picture yet. And the reason why you haven't seen the full picture yet is because these industries would never ever show you the full picture. It's completely against their marketing strategy to be transparent with the consumer. If this industry was transparent, the next time you go and buy a block of cheese, the next time you go and buy a beef burger, the next time you go and buy some cow's milk, if they told you that cows were executed in these slaughterhouses for them optional products, if they told you that dairy cows had their babies taken away from them and the males were killed because they're commodities, the females were put into isolation hutches and spent all their time away from their mums were crying out for them. We've investigated farms where we've seen these mothers crying out for their babies. This is the only way. Look at this. Only way they leave. Fresh food logistics. Animals are not food. Animals are individuals that want to live. Animals are individuals that have the ability to suffer and feel pain. Animals are not objects. Animals are not ours to do whatever we deem fit with. Animals should have the right to their bodily autonomy in their life. Two basic rules. These are basic fundamental rights that these animals should have, but they have them taken away in the name of profit. Absolutely disgusting. One in the chat if you're vegan and you don't pay for this abomination. Two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're a kind person. And I want to reiterate, we're not here to attack you, point fingers at you. If you're number two and you're not vegan yet but you're a kind person, listen to what we're saying, because if you are a kind person, the easiest thing for you to do is become a number one. I put a number three in the chat. If you've got a cold heart, if you don't care about animals and you believe that animals are here for you to be exploiting however you see fit, make sure you double tap the stream, like it, because as many likes as we can get in the first half an hour makes a huge difference when the animals turn up. My gosh, it stinks so bad here.
Where are we for people who are just joining the live?
Anyone joining this live stream right now, we are live outside of a slaughterhouse here in the UK. This is an ABP slaughterhouse. They execute dairy cows and beef cows here for optional products. And I mentioned specifically dairy cows and beef cows because they're two different breeds of cows, but the consumer will never know that. The consumers just see cows. They don't understand that one cow is specifically bred for her breast milk, and one cow is specifically bred for their flesh, for their bodies. One cow produces so much breast milk that when that breast milk starts to decline, she's then considered a waste product. Cows in the dairy industry who are born male are considered a waste product from the day they're born because they don't produce milk. The dairy industry is separate to the beef industry, but the dairy industry leans on the beef industry to propagate the general public. What I'm saying with that is when you go past the field and you see baby cows with their mums, you think there's nothing wrong. This is just how the world works and we take the excess milk. Wrong. When you see baby cows with their mums in the field, they're beef cows. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. It's free. If you don't care about animals, double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. When you see babies and their mums in the fields, that's beef cows. Them cows are the ones who are exploited for their bodies. They're designed to grow super big, so they stay with their mums and they drink their mum's milk. But the dairy industry will say, we don't take the babies away. You can see them with their mums in their field. They lean on the beef industry because what happens in the dairy industry, the babies have to be taken away because the product, quote unquote product, what's produced is the breast milk from her udders. That's going to be what's going to be deeming the profit margins, right? That's what's being sold. So the babies can't drink her breast milk. Absolutely horrific. Absolutely lies to the public, lies to the consumer. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and three if you don't care about animals. Are they going to put the body parts just straight in there today?
Maybe, Steve, maybe let's grab this. Maybe we'll grab that so we can show people. They're opening it. They never open
Let's see. They never do that here.
So we're gonna show you what they're gonna do. This is the whole point of being at slaughterhouses, so we can expose the reality, so you can see. I'm just gonna stand on this so you can see exactly
what they're putting in there.
Gonna do.
See what they're putting in there. They're putting in their body parts that have already been packaged up. This is the only way animals ever get to leave these places. Animals only ever get to leave these places once they've been executed and dismembered and chopped up and put into plastic packets. Animals who had families, animals who had brothers and sisters and mums and dads, animals who had the ability to feel pain and suffer, animals who had the desire to live, animals that did not want to be exploited, commodified, and executed in the name of profit margins, greed, tradition, taste, religion, all the other nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous excuses to execute animals. If you're already a vegan, put a 1 in the chat. If you've already removed yourself from the absolute violence, from the absolute exploitation, from the absolute evil that is slaughterhouses, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat. If you're not vegan yet, but you're a kind person, you have empathy, you have compassion, you do have a heart, put a 2 in the chat if that's you. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Put a 3 in the chat if you've got a cold heart. You think that animals are here to be exploited for you and you don't care. Make sure you double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. But let me just tell you this before you put a 3 in the chat. You better be consistent. You better be consistent on hating all animals. Who's shouting in there? Who's shouting?
Put this.
You can't shout in there. Animals are in there. You can't shout like that. You scare the animals. That's causing extra alarm and distress.
This truck's gonna come out now.
Extra alarm and distress for the animals.
Look at this.
Look inside here. You can see inside the lairage. You can see inside the lairage here. Shame on these people for what they do to animals. Absolutely disgusting.
Shameful.
And empty, in my opinion, slave truck. This is an absolute signification of the outright exploitation and evil that happens here. To me, this is a slave truck that's now empty, leaving, cleaned down, washed away from all the wee and the poo, but they can't wash away the blood. They can't wash away the evil. They can't wash away what's been all the wrongdoing that they've done here today.
Well,
That can't be cleaned away.
Gonna see if I can get the lairage here now.
Yeah, see if you can get the lairage in there. What you're looking at right now, guys, as Mel's trying to get that shot, that's known as a lairage. In a slaughterhouse, this is basically like a big holding area where the animals will wait to be executed.
Vegans, can you put some red hearts if you can see cows there? Because I can't see the chat too well, but I'll be able to see your red hearts.
Put the hearts in there for the animals, guys. Them animals, if you can see the animals in there right now, them animals are waiting to be executed. Today was the last day they woke up. Last night was the last time they closed their eyes and rested. Today will be the last day that their hearts beat, their minds think, and their brains hope. The last day that they have hope of freedom. Could you imagine? Can you imagine being given a number, not a name? Can you imagine being controlled your whole life? And can you imagine being forced inside of a building when you're deemed unprofitable to be executed? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stop over with Mel, and I'm going to let Mel tell you what happens to these animals once they get taken from the lairage onto the kill floor inside this place. But right now, that's what you're witnessing. This is live
Could you
at
guys-
the UK ABP Slaughterhouse.
Could you guys see the animals? Could you see them?
1 in the chat if you're vegan, guys. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations.
Switch
And
over.
3 if you don't care about animals. Explain what happens to them now.
Yeah, so guys, inside this lairage, you've just seen the trucks come in. What will happen now is the animals will go into like an area which looks like a dungeon. They call a lairage. They'll have the name of the farmer in their section. Just make sure the farmer gets the money right for their body parts. And then they'll get taken to the kill floor into the knockbox where they'll have a bolt gun in their head, which is like something that goes through their skull. It incapacitates the animal. It's not for the cows, it's for the workers. So the cows are on the floor, cannot fight back, so it's safer for the workers. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but you're not vegan yet. And number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this screen, like it and share it. By liking this live stream, we've noticed it really helps push the algorithm out. So when the animals turn up today, everyone who needs to see the animals will see them, because when people see the animals with their own eyes and they see the eyes looking back at them, it makes them change. It makes them stop paying for this evil industry called a slaughterhouse and animal farming to exist. Number 1 in the chat if you are vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you are a normal person who's just open-minded, who doesn't know the industry. That's number 2 in the chat. Number 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. And double tap this live. Please subscribe and please stay on this live stream. Trucks will be coming here today. They will. It's just the cries behind me. I don't know if you can hear on the live. Yes, was it?
What are you here for today? You just rage baiting people? What's your objective?
No, I'm not here to rage bait whatsoever. We're here to turn your heads against the industries that lie to you. Everyone says they love animals. Everyone says we should be kind and compassionate, right? But these industries are lying to you. They're putting words like humane in front of slaughter, which is murder. Humane murder isn't a thing. Humane kidnapping isn't a thing. The reason I say kidnapping is because every single mother in animal agriculture and any form of oppression towards animals, the mothers always have their babies kidnapped from them, taken away from them, guys. It's evil. What I'm saying is not like my extremities or a cruelty case. Is standard practice in these industries. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you are open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. In our link in our description, there's also an expose that's been happened recently from Joey Carbstrong. Go and watch that expose for yourself. That expose has gone all over the world. Everyone is up in arms about what happens inside that place. But what they don't realise is that there's no difference of what happens inside that place, this place, the other place, all places that kill animals. It's all the same. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 if you're anti-vegan. I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Cows will be coming inside this place today. Dairy cows and beef cows coming in here.
comments in the section are saying support your local farmers.
No way. What you're saying is to support your local animal abusing, murderous people. No way. Good people don't support bad people. It's just the farmers have lied to you. If you are someone who's like, oh, I trust the farmer down the road, oh, he's really nice, he's lying to you. He's just a mouthpiece to make you feel better about paying for the exploitation they put upon the animals. Remember, this is standard farming practice. Standard practice in the dairy industry. So for any cow's milk, every single cow that produces milk has pregnancy forced upon them. What happens is the farmer will take them, put them into what they call a cattle crush, where the cow cannot exit, they cannot move back or forth, they're trapped in this cage. The farmer then puts his whole entire arm inside of her. Yes, the farmer puts himself inside the cow, injects her with bull semen and makes her pregnant. A few months later, he does the exact same thing, but he puts his arm inside to check if she is pregnant. If she is not pregnant, they call her empty and they go, discard her. They basically turn up here with the cows and send them in here like they're rubbish. It's like a bin to them. They drop them off. Oh, I don't want to support this cow anymore. They're not giving me any money. So in the bin they go. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe. By liking this live really helps the animals. So please like this live. So yeah, if she is pregnant, she then will carry her baby for 9 months, just like your mother did, just like my mother carried me. When she gives birth to her baby, it will be in a cold, dark barn on like a concrete floor, poo and wee everywhere. She'll give birth alone in the darkness. And if she gives birth to a female, the farmer will come in as soon as they know that the baby is there, and they'll take the baby away because they don't want her drinking the breast milk intended for her. They then put her in an isolation booth away from her mum. Before I continue this story, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live right now and help get the animals seen today. Please subscribe. So she gets put in an isolation booth away from her mum. She calls for her mum as her mother does for her. They're extremely maternal animals. It causes them such trauma, just like if someone stole your baby away from you. They've been known as well to try and run after the trucks that take their babies. They've been known to break out of the farms and look around for their babies. Horrific, right? Right, and then if she gives birth to a male, sorry, there's loads of stuff going on right now. If she gives birth to a male, they don't produce milk, so they still kidnap her baby, but then they send him straight to a slaughterhouse. A slaughterhouse, guys, they kill babies in a slaughterhouse. Every single animal that you consume is a baby. Is there something?
Why is the industry never transparent with these consumers? Why does everybody not know that?
Yeah. So if the industry was transparent with you, if you saw the CCTV inside these places, you wouldn't pay them. That's exactly it. You wouldn't pay them. That's why I urge you to go and watch Joey Carbstrong's latest investigation, because everybody, he said go vegan.
To go vegan.
Yeah, everybody is up in arms about it, and it's just because people don't know the truth. When people know the truth, they change. That's why we're here. So we're not here to hate on you. We're not here to rage bait. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe.
There's a lot of alarms going on around here. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's weird. There's so much stuff going on. We have to have like our head on a swivel. So much.
How does it feel when you stand there hearing them cows crying out?
Awful, absolutely awful. Everything inside me breaks, but I know I have to be strong for the animals and I have to defend them and tell you guys who may not know yet what happens to these poor animals. Did you also know that all the chickens that you consume, the meat chickens, they're actually called broiler chickens. They're actually disabled babies. That's who you're eating. When you go like to KFC and other places that serve meat chickens, they're little disabled babies. They cannot walk, they cannot guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Like I was saying about the disabled baby chickens, those chickens go to a gas chamber. They suffocate to death inside those CO2 pits of hell. We've been there literally last week. We're outside a gas chamber for little chickens who are shaking with absolute fear on those trucks. Did you know those baby chickens have bright blue eyes? They're such sweet individuals, but they've been genetically modified to grow really large to an adult-sized body, plus in a short space of time, 6 weeks. 6 weeks old those babies are, okay? Piglets at 6 months old are forced inside gas chambers, CO2 gas chambers. Go and watch Pignorant on Amazon Prime to see that as well. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and please subscribe. I'm just going to switch back over with Steve quick.
Absolutely, well said. Guys, another opportunity to just make a point that we're not here to clash with non-vegans. We're not here to point fingers at you. We're here to come alongside you and turn your head against the industry. Now, a lot of people, when you're a number 2, if you're a good client person, when you hear the vegan message, sometimes you feel like it is pointed at you and you feel angry and you feel really cross at the messenger because it hits a chord inside your heart. But guess what happens when you go vegan? When you become a number 1, that anger that you had towards the messenger goes towards the industry, and rightly so. Good people right now are paying for some of the most horrific violence without ever actually knowing the facts. Let me just give you some of them facts right now. But before I do, I want 1s in the chat for the vegans, 2 in the chat for the non-vegans, and 3 in the chat for the anti-vegans. Here's some facts about animal agriculture that you do not know. Over 20% of dairy cows are sent to slaughterhouses pregnant because they're sold on how much they weigh. 6 months old is the age of a piglet when they go inside of a CO2 gas chamber. If you want to know more about the pig industry, go and look at Joey Carbstrong's documentary, Pignorant. At 42 days old, male chicks in the industry, at 42-day-old, chickens in the meat industry are sent to be gassed. At 18 months old, egg-laying hens are sent to be gassed. I'm going to continue after you put 1 in the chat for vegans, 2 in the chat for non-vegans, 3 in the chat for anti-vegans. Make sure you double tap the stream and subscribe. So 18 months old, egg-laying hens are gassed. If you were a male chick, them little yellow chicks that everyone coos over and thinks are really cute, if they're born male in the egg industry, they get thrown inside of a blender on the first day of their life with their shells. Sheep have their tails docked and cut off with no anesthetic. They tie bands around them, they cut them off, or they put clips around them. Same as what they do with their testicles. Mulesing is a technique used in the wool industry where they cut the back of the sheep's legs and around their bum to stop them from getting fly strike. No anesthetic, they just slice their legs apart. Dairy industry, the pregnancy is forced upon the cows. Cows aren't just naturally breeding animals and just producing milk. The farmer puts himself inside the cows, holds the cervix in place and injects them with bull semen. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the stream. Please like, share and subscribe. Did you know that cows, the leather industry is a co-product, it's not a byproduct. If you go and buy a leather jacket, that's not just a byproduct of the dairy or the meat industry. The leather industry is a standalone industry, the same as the wool industry. So you can't be vegan and go and buy leather jackets. You're still supporting the exploitation and the commodification of animals. Did you know all these things? Did you know that they still breed beagles to test on beagles here in the UK? Did you know that? Did you know all these things? Did you know that farrowing crates are still used in the UK? That mother sows will spend 5 to 6 weeks inside of a crate where she can only stand up and lay down and eat for 6 weeks whilst her babies feed off of her. You imagine being inside of a crate day and night for 6 weeks. That's the pig industry. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like, share and subscribe.
What turned you vegan, or have you always been vegan?
I haven't always been vegan, no, but the dairy industry turned me vegan. I was listening to Joey Carbstrong talk about the dairy industry and I could not argue with what he was telling me. And then I saw a black and white dairy cow having her life taken inside of a facility like what I'm stood in front of today, a slaughterhouse. They were slicing her throat open. I saw the fear and distress in her eyes. I saw the terror as her life slipped away from her. I saw the fear-inducing pain. I saw exactly what she was going through. And I thought, never again am I going to be personally responsible for that violence. 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you've already made that decision. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to why we're here and you're listening to this conversation. And 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. 1, 2 or 3. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like and the bell button on the subscription too. We go all over the UK, different various slaughterhouses every single week to bring the consumer the truth because it's not fair. Good people are never told the truth. How do you ever stand a chance of doing the right thing when you're never told the truth? You go to the supermarket, you go to any shop, and you just see a ham and cheese sandwich, right? But you don't see that them pigs were 6 months old when they got put inside of a gas chamber. You don't see the babies that were taken away from that mum, and that mum going inside of a slaughterhouse to be killed for that cheese. You don't see that. If they showed you that on the outside, would you still buy that product? Of course you wouldn't. Why do you think when you go inside of a supermarket and you see the farmers stroking the cows' noses above the dairy aisle? It's the indoctrination there. You don't ever go to the fruit section and see the farmer picking the strawberries, do you? No, because they don't need to indoctrinate you to pay for strawberries, but they need to indoctrinate you to pay for cow's milk. So this is where the marketing comes in.
What's everyone looking at when I put the camera over? Just explain what this area is.
This is a slaughterhouse right now. Right now, you're looking inside of a layerage. In there, you can see the animals who are waiting to die. Them animals are waiting to be executed. Do you know this is a slaughterhouse? Do you know it's a slaughterhouse? Say again. Nice meeting you. No, all right. All right, I couldn't hear what you're saying. Show me there. What
Say
you're
again?
looking at? What you're looking at right now, this is a layerage. Them animals in there are waiting to die. They're waiting to be executed. You're looking at their last moments. We're talking with this intensity because for them, this is real. This is the intensity that they face. For them, this is it. The end of their life. We're not talking about a difference of opinion. We're talking about life and death. These individual sentient beings who are having a subjective experience of their life will have their lives taken from them today. We take everything from animals and we mock them whilst we do it. And then you try and tell people about it and people get triggered and upset because the indoctrination is so real. You're told that this is humane, ethical, and necessary. It's not. This is certainly not necessary, and it most definitely is not humane and ethical. One in the chat if you're vegan already and you've removed your support for this violence. Spam ones. Spam twos in the chat. If you're not vegan, but you're a kind person, you're open-minded, put threes in the chat if you're anti-vegan, if you're a cold-hearted person who believes that animals are here for you to exploit however you see fit. Animals will be coming here today. Animals will be driving through the gate right behind me right now. Put ones in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, three in the chat if you don't care about animals, but make sure you double tap the stream. And if you're an anti-vegan, if you're a number three, be brave enough to stay in the stream and wait and see these animals come in. Wait and see them with your own eyes. Because even as a 5-year plus animal rights activist, and I've stood outside these gates for over a year now, every single week, today, when them animals come past me, it will break my heart. Today, when I hear them crying from inside that lairage, it will break my heart. Well, the smells, everything about this place breaks my heart because I know the injustice that happens here. And the only way that we can stop it is by number twos, good people turning vegan, by good people listening to the message, understanding that we're not attacking you. We're coming alongside you to show you the truth and the reality. Our objective is to turn you against the industry, not against us. So please listen with intent. Please listen dearly to what I'm saying because animals' lives depend on it. It's not me, it's not you, it's them. It's their lives. Everything is all about them. One in the chat if you're vegan already. Two in the chat if you don't care about animals. Three in the chat. So two in the chat if you care and you're a kind person but you're not vegan yet. Three in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. We have to get this message out with the intent that if it was me, you, or any other one of our loved ones in there, because to fight for them any less would be a huge injustice. They deserve us to fight with this intent because their lives are going to be taken. How does it make you feel to know that when you go and put their cow's milk in your tea, you paid for a mother to have her baby ripped away from her? How does it feel when you have your eggs on your toast that you paid for male chicks to go inside of a blender? You paid for female chicks to go inside of a gas chamber. How does it feel when you have that bacon sandwich that a 6-month-old piglet? 9 out of 10 of you would watch the movie Babe and say, oh, that pig's so cute. Look at that lovely pig running around. And then you'll put them in a gas chamber, you'll gas them to death and eat them. But you don't even know that's happening. This is what my point is. If you knew that, you'd never do it. And I guarantee you, if any one of you had to press the on button of that gas chamber, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
If any one of you had to go inside there and hold the knife, look these animals in the eyes while you took their life away from them, you couldn't do it. And that's because you're a number two. You may not be vegan yet, but you're a kind, compassionate person and you do care. You just haven't connected with the animals. And that's why we're here today. We're here to connect you to them. One in the chat if you're vegan. Two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations. And three, if you don't care about animals, double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe.
We've just had loads of people enter the room. Maybe tell everyone what's going on.
Thank you all for being here. Please stay for at least 10 minutes to change your life. Right now, we're outside of a slaughterhouse live in the UK. It is 10:30 on Friday, the 22nd of May. We're here right now. We are showing you, the consumer, the truth, the reality. The industry behind me, they have to pay billions of pounds to indoctrinate you and to lie to you, to make you think you're a baby cow, to make you think it's necessary for you to exploit and eat animals. Well, we're here today to show you the reality behind that, to show you that the truth is you don't, and the reality of what you pay for is horrific. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, three in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. We're not saying you're a bad person if you're not vegan, but we're saying you're paying for some really bad things unknowingly. And it's not your fault. How many of you grew up believing in the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and Father Christmas? And there's a reason why you believed there so much. And there was a reason why you believed it with such purity that when you found out the truth, it hurt. And the reason is because you were taught that from a young age when you didn't know how to question or critically think about anything else. Now, the animal farming, humane washing lie is another story like Father Christmas, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny. It's an indoctrination, it's a conditioning put on children from a young age, and it's traditionally been done because that's what we've been taught. The industry wants you to feel that way. But listen, like you woke up to all the others, the Father Christmas isn't real, Tooth Fairy isn't real, and neither is the Easter Bunny. Humane, ethical slaughter and exploiting animals is not real too. Be vegan, it's simply the baseline of what we should be. Let me swap in with Mel. I think trucks are coming, so it's time to swap over.
Yeah,
That
guys,
smells so bad.
we can't actually express to you how much it stinks here. It makes you want to gag. It's disgusting. It just smells like a heavy metallic. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Behind me, we've got security here. Two people on the gate who are running it manually, even though the gate should really be on automatic. But when we come here, they don't want you to see the animals. Ask yourself why they don't want you to see the animals. Look up here. Got a camera up here constantly on us. You've got spikes fence here. Got spikes fence here. You got all the beware guard dogs, everything like that. Why? Why? Why do we have to be like, why can't they be transparent with us? And the reason is because when you see inside these places of absolute evil, like a slaughterhouse, you would never pay for it if you knew. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, guys. Please subscribe. Please like this live. This is what helps get the algorithm out. So when the animals turn up today, and we think they're going to be turning up any moment, it will help people see the animals with their own eyes who need to see them. When good people see, they change. It's just that you may have not known yet. You may have not known that dairy cows only make milk for their babies. They're not actually called dairy cows. They're just called mothers, just like your mother, just like my mother. Like they just make milk for their babies. Every single baby in the dairy industry gets taken into slaughterhouses and killed. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe. I just want to tell you guys as well, we're not here to hate on you. We're here to turn your head against the industry that has turned your head against the animals. If you love animals, you may just not realise what you are paying for because they have lied to you. They say words like humane, free-range, organic, local farmer. It's all a massive lie to make you feel better about paying for an injustice that you would never pay for in the first place if you saw the reality. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. Every vegan activist in the chat, please, your time now, put hearts in the chat. Green hearts in the chats for the animals. Put red hearts in the chats for the animals. If you're not vegan but you do care about animals, let's see who's in the room right now. We are not here as well just spouting nonsense at you. We're here because we've seen with our own eyes what happens. We go inside farms. We've seen it inside at 3 in the morning. Our investigations you can go check out on our main channel. It's Melon C, which is the purple icon. Go and have a look for yourself. We actually took a non-vegan undercover with us inside a UK standard pig farm, and it's the worst thing on this earth.
Kinetic Kel, thank you so much for your kind super thanks. Kinetic Kel said meat is murder.
Thank you so much for your kind super thanks. That's so generous of you. And yeah, meat is murder. It literally is. Meat is murder. Dairy is murder. Eggs is murder. Animal experiments is murder, torture, abuse, mutilation. But people don't know this. When was the last time someone told you that cows only produce milk for their babies? When was the last time someone told you, did you know all the male calves in the dairy industry get sent to slaughterhouses around 2 weeks old? When was the last time that happened? When was the last time? 20% of cows go to slaughter pregnant. They're pregnant, grieving mothers. How horrific. These are the individuals we're standing up for. And if you're someone trying to defend these industries, then what you are defending is abuse, torture, murder, and stabbing, de-skinning alive, dismembering alive of animals who don't want to die. They're just like you and I. They're just like you and I. All they want is love, and we're sending them to slaughterhouses. But not if you're vegan. Vegans don't do that. We once used to send them to slaughterhouses too. Now we don't. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number three if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live and subscribe.
Katie Ann, thank you so much for your kind super thanks too.
Thank
Katie
you.
Ann, but sentient animals are not products.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's as simple as that. Sentient individuals are not food, they're not resources, they're not transport. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and subscribe. This is a slaughterhouse behind me. I'm here at a slaughterhouse. It breaks my heart being here. I don't want to be here, but I have to be here because I'm trying to defend the animals from good people who are paying for this. I used to pay for this and I wish someone told me sooner. So that's why I am here, to defend those animals. If you're on the live stream right now and you're not vegan, it's not your your fault that you don't know. So don't think we're coming at you with hate. We're just very passionate because this is a war waged upon the animals, and it's your time now to learn and to change. Once you know better, you can change. But if no one tells you the truth, how are you ever going to have the motivation to change? They lie to you. They even corrupt the RSPCA. The RSPCA assured it was actually called Freedom Foods. Freedom Foods was like an assured logo they put on meat products. But they were like, nah, this isn't working. We need the RSPCA. So they corrupted the RSPCA of money, stole their name, and now they use the RSPCA assured. So people are now completely being lied to all over the place, and they're falling for it. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and subscribe. If you don't think you've been brainwashed by these industries, if you open your fridge and there's cow's milk in there, that's literally the definition of being brainwashed, because we're not baby cows. They convinced all of us that we're baby cows and we need the cow's milk intended for a baby. We're not, we're humans. All we need is our mother's milk. Like, we don't need anybody else's milk. We should never be taking anything away from anybody else and commodifying them, using them in any which way.
Kinetic Kel, thank you so much again for another super thanks.
Oh, thank
Kinetic
you.
Kel said, this makes me so happy. Keep up the activism, baddie. You guys rock.
Oh, thank you so much for your
Very
kind
kind.
encouragement and your generosity. It means a lot when you're out here and you're trying to defend the animals and you have so many trolls and awful things happening everywhere. It means so much. Thank you so much. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please like this live. That's what's really helping push the algorithm out. So when the animals turn up today, you will be able to see for yourself the animals with your own eyes. This is not propaganda. This is not lies. We're just showing you the truth. All we have is a camera. We're putting it up at a slaughterhouse and we're showing you. When animals come in today, we'll show you the unloading, which is behind me here. It will happen here when the animals get forced into what you call a lairage. Now, we've captured farmers, local farmers that people trust, by the way, go into the back of their van, take out a big prodding thing and prod the animals out of the van into that lairage. The animals don't want to go in these places. They know what's happening.
Finn's just gone vegan.
Amazing. Thank you so much for going vegan for the animals. It's such an urgent issue. This is the biggest war our world has ever seen, and it's waged upon the animals. And when people take this seriously and they understand the urgency of it, people do go vegan. So thank you so much for them. If you were in this live stream today, what if I said to you, if you could save an animal today, would you? And you can. This is all in our hands. It's in the public hands. If the demand wasn't there, they wouldn't do this. So we got to remove our demand from the industry, which then lowers their profits, and eventually they won't be doing this anymore. Like, the dairy industry is on its knees right now. The pig industry is on its knees right now because the industries have been exposed and people are going vegan every single day and defending the animals. Not vegetarian, vegan. Vegan is a moral stance against the use and exploitation of animals, and we must be vegan as a matter of urgency. It's the least we can do. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
If people want to go vegan, where can they get help?
Yeah, go to our link in our description. There's Challenge 22 that will help you. But I urge you to watch this documentary to find out why you go vegan. Go and watch Dominion on YouTube. It's got a black screen with a calf on the front. It's about an hour and a half, but it's the documentary everyone wishes they saw sooner. Please please, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like it, and please comment, share, and subscribe.
Tim, and then a load of numbers just went vegan as well.
Amazing, Tim. Thank you again for going vegan for the animals. So many people go vegan when they see the truth. Let us know right now if this is changing your mind. Red hearts in the comments if your mind is being open and it's changing your heart. Or maybe it's the heart you always had, but you just didn't know the industry. That's all it is. When I wasn't vegan, I didn't. Like, I loved animals. I was the girl who everyone was like, oh, Mel loves animals. My dog was my best friend. But I'd go to the supermarket and buy a chicken burger, not even thinking that's a chicken. I was just so disconnected. That's how vulnerable the human brain is to being brainwashed and have propaganda put upon it that we believe it, such as Santa Claus, such as the Tooth Fairy. And I always believed that nobody could lie on marketing. I didn't think that you were allowed to lie. And now I know that everything on the adverts is a lie. Hence why Chris Packham recently got a few adverts banned from the dairy and beef industry, because he was like, that's an absolute lie. That shouldn't be allowed. It's absolutely evil. These industries have so much money and they're brainwashing you every day. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and subscribe. For anyone who's just joined this live stream, we're not here to hate on you. We're here outside a slaughterhouse right now. Behind me, cows are being killed. They're being stabbed in the throat as we speak. This place also has breaches at this place as well. But even if they did adhere to the standard Standard animal welfare laws, it doesn't make it right. This should be abolished. This should not be happening whatsoever. This is an evil industry and it's happening in plain sight. I'm literally looking at Quick Fit as I'm here right now. People are walking along right now, but it says ABP Foods. No one knows this is a slaughterhouse, so we're coming here. We're making sure the world knows that this is a slaughterhouse. We'll make sure the animals are seen. Every single animal has they're like a light, right? And when they go inside these places, their light gets gets blown out. But that light goes on to us and we then tell people what we've seen. We then share their story with the rest of the world, such as a story inside of a farm that I'm going to tell you about in a moment. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the live and subscribe. So we went inside, one of the first farms we went inside, free-range local, and there was actually signs all over this farm with award-winning farm. We went inside and it was a chicken farm for broiler hens. Broiler hens are chickens who have been genetically modified to grow really large in a short space of time. But as they grow, their legs break underneath them because they should be little chicks, but they've been modified to be massive at this point. So the first thing we did, we opened up the dead bin. We opened up a bin, we didn't know it was a dead bin, and we saw little babies all in there, covered in maggots. It was disgusting. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe, like this live stream. But when we opened the barn of this the door of this chicken barn, all the chickens tried to run away, they were afraid. But there was one chicken in the middle who was a bit smaller than the others, who couldn't walk very well because her legs probably were broken underneath her. I sat with her and she was chirping to me and she was showing me that she couldn't even reach the water in the barn. Whereas chickens like poo and wee, the floor gets higher and higher. So what they do is they move the water higher. It's like a bar across the barn that hangs down with the water. She was trying to jump and reach the water. She couldn't reach that water. One of the most basic things that you think everybody should have is water. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe. This is also on our main channel, this whole video, where we meet her. I named her Tiny because she was smaller than the rest. And when I looked around, it wasn't just Tiny who couldn't reach the water. There was thousands who couldn't reach the water. Inside these barns, you can have up to 15,000 chickens. But if they put a divider in, then you can have up to 30,000 chickens. You don't know what free range really looks like. You don't know what humane is. People tell you in the industry that this is a fairy tale behind here. This is like Disneyland. It's not. It's a murder scene. It's disgusting. It's outright premeditated murder, in my opinion. The farmers know they are breeding these animals purely to kill them as all babies. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. Animals will be coming here any moment. We're constantly looking this way because that's where they're going to be coming from. But animals are behind me right now as we talk. As we got out of the car, I could hear cows crying. Mother cows grieving for their babies. Grieving for maybe 5 babies that they've had stolen from them. Probably pregnant right now. 20% of cows who go to slaughter are still pregnant. Piglets are 6 months old. What you call bacon, they're 6-month-old baby piglets who scream for their life inside a gas chamber of absolute hell. They've been known to even cut off their own limbs in this gas chamber trying to escape. It's absolute torture. In fact, it is torture. It is. And the industries are making money from it. The RSPCA approve things like that. Don't be fooled by words. Don't be fooled by propaganda. Always look for yourself. Always go and see the reality for yourself. So go and watch Dominion and see the reality for yourself. All we do as activists, we put a camera up on the industry. If you don't like our videos, it's because you don't like the industry. If you don't like the words that come out my mouth, it's because you don't like the industry. And only animal farmers will try and defend this. In fact, they're paid to do this. Animal farmers always say, oh, they're so hardworking, but they're in our live chat all the time. They're trolling us constantly. I'm just going to switch over with Steve quick.
Yeah, well done. Well said. Did really well there. Explained things really well. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the stream. We've got over 120 likes now. Let's get that up to 200. Animals are coming here today to die, and we want you to see them. We want the world to see them. They need to see them. The only way that people ever change is by seeing and hearing the reality and the truth. And this is what the industry tries so hard to indoctrinate the consumer with and never, ever, ever let you know. And that's not fair. First of all, it's not fair for the animals. They're the ones having their lives taken. They're commodified and killed for these products. And then you, if you're a kind person, if you're a good person, did you even know you're paying for this violence towards animals? Are you the kind of person that if you saw a pigeon get hit by a car, you would stop your car, get out and help the pigeon, and then go home and have a chicken sandwich? If you are, then you're a number 2. You're a kind, compassionate, empathetic person, but you've just not connected fully with all the animals yet.
Loads of
Lots of
support.
beeps and thumbs up today, which is really good. This is what I come back to saying. The world isn't full of number 3s. The world is full of number 2s. The world is full of people who do care, but they're just disconnected, and they're disconnected by design. The industry is designed to disconnect you, and that's exactly what happens. We're here today to show you the truth and the reality. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Make sure you've subscribed and you've hit the bell notifications. We go to different slaughterhouses all over the UK, all over the country every single week to show you the truth, to show you that this isn't just one bad case, to show you that this is systemic violence across all species, all industries. The dairy industry turned me vegan. Now, I watched Joey Carstrong debating someone on the dairy industry, and I urge you to go over into the description and click on the Linktree link at the top and go down and watch Joey Carstrong's latest 2 investigations.
Can you just show people your tattoo on your head? People are like, he's not vegan.
On here?
Yep.
Can you see it there?
Yep. Do you believe him now? What, is that because Steve doesn't look like a typical vegan?
On my forearm, what does this say? Dairy is murder. And I took these pictures of these cows outside of a slaughterhouse myself. I'm vegan because I saw the truth, I saw the reality, and I didn't put up a wall. I didn't put up a facade. I was strong enough, I was brave enough to see the truth and then absorb it, and then action might change. When I saw the truth and the reality, I realized that I never wanted to be part of that violence towards animals again. These defenseless animals that can't defend themselves, by the way, we're talking about being kind to chickens, cows, pigs, sheep, these gentle animals that wish no harm on humans. We're just extending our compassion to them. If you can show compassion towards a dog and a cat, what stops you when it comes to a cow or a pig? What's the moral difference that they possess? There is no moral difference. Oh gosh, I thought it was a truck then.
Yeah, I do as well.
Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan already and you've already removed your violence towards the animals. 2 in the chat if you're a kind person, but you're just coming across vegan messaging for the first time and you're open-minded to this conversation. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. 1, 2, or 3, let us know where you are. Let us know where you come from. Let us know if you've green hearts, if you've changed from a 2 to a 1 today. And please subscribe and hit the bell notification. Is there any questions in there?
There's so many vegans in the room right now. I just want to say thank you to every single animal defender in the room. Please put green hearts if you are someone who defends the animals and you're someone who's vegan. Put red hearts if you have been open-minded today and you may have started to know things that you didn't know before.
Yeah. Guys, the smell of this place is unreal. It keeps catching my breath. Apologies for coughing. It's absolutely disgusting. You can only imagine what it must be like being an animal turning up here. Now, you imagine, a lot of people say, right, small holding farmers, they are local, organic, and free range. That's where I get all my animal products from. Could you imagine, right? Let's say that small holding farmers are better and that the animals trust them farmers and they have an amazing relationship and they feel loved from the farmers. What an ultimate betrayal when that very person brings them to this slaughterhouse to be executed for profit.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trusting someone and loving someone and being cared for by someone? And then one day that person determines that you are now no longer profitable, that now is the time for your execution, and you willingly follow that person because they've never done you wrong. You don't think anything bad of that person. And these animals follow these farmers onto these trailers. And then these trailers come here, and guess what? The small, local, organic, free-range animals are killed with the same knife as the factory farmed animals. How about that?
Yep.
How about that? We're not here for bigger cages. We're not here for welfare. We're not here for greener grasses and sharper knives. We're here for animal rights. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to conversations about veganism, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be educated. Listen to what we're saying with an open mind and an open heart. If you're non-vegan, you've come across this for a reason today. Let us educate you. Let us show you what we saw. We weren't born vegan. We saw the message and then went vegan because I didn't want to be responsible for that violence anymore. Simple as that. And you can do the same. If anything that we're saying or showing you today is making you feel any kind of upset emotion or any turmoil in your gut, then that's a clear indication that you're not comfortable with exploiting animals and you should be vegan.
If people stay on this live stream, what are they going to see?
If you stay on this live stream, you're going to see animals coming to their death today. They're going to come from this direction. This is why we're looking this way all the time. The animals are going to come in. We're going to show you them as they come past. And we're going to show you them being offloaded.
She Loved Dex, thank you for your super thanks. He put, I'm personally not vegan, but factory farming is disgusting. Me and my wife hunt as most animals do, but it doesn't mean you should lock them up for food.
You shouldn't exploit or execute animals, full stop. Hunting is absolutely unnecessary. And if something's unnecessary, then there's no justification to do it. If you were in a survival situation, you could justify hunting humans to survive because there's a justification, it's necessary. But what you're doing is you're hunting innocent animals when you don't need to. Therefore, it's not necessary. Therefore, there's no justification. Therefore, it's unethical and immoral. What you're doing is no different to factory farming. You are commodifying an individual. You're taking everything from them. You are executing them for an optional product that you do not need. Do not listen to people when they say, I'm fish, I pole fish, I hunt my own animals. That's not a good thing. Don't be proud of someone who goes out and like executes and murders animals in the wild. That's not good. You're still a murderer. There's no difference, by the way, to someone who goes and hunts and someone who goes to the supermarket. Both result in an animal dying.
Yeah, it is. You'll put yourself in their position if you wouldn't want to be shot in the head and no one else should be.
No.
People are saying, yeah, but animals hunt each other.
But you're not an animal. I can say, yeah, but pigeons fly. That doesn't mean that I should be able to fly. The animals you're referring to, they're in survival situations. They're obligate carnivores. They have a justification because they need to survive. One in the chat if you're vegan. Two in the chat if you're not vegan. Three in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream and like, share, and subscribe. When you say animals kill other animals, they're in a survival situation and they're obligate carnivores. That's not you. That's like me saying a fish can hold a fish can breathe underwater. Why can't I? I'm not the same animal. I can't look at that animal's behavior and then justify my behavior because of it. When lions meet other lions, they sniff their bums. If you went around sniffing people's bums, you'd get arrested.
Yeah. Thank you, Dragoon Corin. Sorry if I said that wrong. They put, have you ever heard of overpopulation?
Overpopulation, yeah, humans. Humans are overpopulating the earth. So if you think that hunting, for example, is an excuse to control population, then we should then be consistent with that. And then that should basically make killing humans ethical or moral. And when I go to court, I say to the judge, don't worry, judge, overpopulation. Far too many humans. We're nearly 9 billion humans now. So I'm doing the world a favor. I'm taking out my gun. I'm going out. I'm getting the ones who are organic and free ranging. And I'm shooting them straight in the heart so they don't feel any pain. And I'm doing the world a favor by controlling overpopulation. Nonsense.
We've got some people saying, what do you eat then as a vegan?
As a vegan, I make sure that everything I eat is vegan, obviously. It has a little V with a leaf or it says vegan on it. If I'm fussy about being healthy, I can use something like Chronometer and I can make sure that I'm eating whole food plant-based. And I want to eat cleaner protein sources. I can have tofu, tempeh, seitan, legumes, chickpeas and lentils. But if I want to have a burger, I just go and get a vegan burger. If I want to have a chicken burger, I get a vegan chicken burger. I get oat milk and soy milk. I just look for the vegan options. The reason being is because why I should be vegan is always stronger than my how. When you know the why you should be vegan, when you've seen what we've seen and when you've heard what we've heard, and you know why you should be vegan, how am I going to get my taste pleasure and my protein and satisfy that side of me? Always comes second and it's always easy to do. You can do it yourself. You got Google, you got ChatGPT. You can do these things. But when you know why you should be vegan, you're then driven to find the answers to these questions.
Yeah, Bo Loves Trees said, vegans eat all the foods, but leave animal products out. It's easy. It really is easy. It's easier than you think once you know
Simple as that. You go and look at a roast dinner, 90% of a roast dinner is vegan apart from the dead animal that's died and suffered in a slaughterhouse. Just put a nut roast on there. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation. And free, if you don't care about animals, double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. We're here today, guys, not to clash. We're talking strongly about this because we'll always say the truth and not apologize for it. If someone says, I'm not vegan, I'm against factory farming, but I hunt animals, that doesn't make you a good person. And I'm going to call you out for that. And if me saying you hunting animals is not a good thing to do and you're not a good person and you feel upset, then change. Listen to what I'm saying. We're going to swap in with Mel now.
I let you go and talking a bit longer because I was like, you're doing so good.
Sorry.
So I've just seen on the security all on the phone, so I'm presuming that the trucks are around the corner.
Yeah.
Because they communicate. And in fact, we've seen trucks with animals come here, see us, and then carry on driving, and they've waited like cowards around the corner. In fact, a smallholding local farmer on one of our videos on our YouTube channel, you can see down there, blocking the traffic. He didn't want to come in until the gate was open because the activists were here. They're absolute cowards. They're losers, animal farmers are. They're disgusting people, and in my opinion, they're not fit for purpose, because if you're somebody who can take the life of somebody else, then you should be locked away for the rest of your life. It's disgusting, it's evil. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. All we are trying to do is defend the animals. That's all we are trying to do. We're not here to rage bait, we're not here to be aggressive. We're here purely to tell you the truth about what happens inside slaughterhouses so you can make the educated decision to live vegan and leave animals alone and defend them. Once you know better, you do better. Once you see the plight of the animals and you see the reality, you go, oh my gosh, that's evil, that's horrible. I don't want to be part of that. And you just remove your money from them. It's easy. It's as simple as like what you said, Bo Loves Trees. You just don't pay for animal products. You just don't do it. It's a non-action. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Please, please subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Behind me, they kill cows from the dairy industry. The dairy industry and the beef industry. Beef cows, which what they name them, I call them cows. They're 18 months old on average when they go to slaughter. The other day we had Calvin and Jake who went to a sheep slaughterhouse. The workers were saying the sheep are around 3 months old when they go inside these places of hell. Sheep also have things done to them like museum. So like they have their legs, their back legs all cut with like these big scissor looking things. In fact, they put the lambs in a contraption where they are laid on their back. Their feet and arms are like locked away whilst they like dismember the poor animals. It's evil. Those poor little babies. This is what happened to little babies. Who the hell are we? The weakest people oppress animals. That is a fact. That is a fact. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and subscribe. For some reason, when people see cows or animals in the fields, they go, oh, look at them, oh, look how sweet they are. But they can't seem to understand that the meat, the flesh they are eating is coming from the animals that they have once seen. They can't understand that there's a middle part that happens, which is the slaughterhouse.
I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Apologies. Rudrashrigar 7508. I'm a 3, but I'm veg. In India, we own cows and we do not treat them bad. I mean, we have rules in our holy books on how to treat cows.
No, yeah. So it's a shame because in India, it's actually the biggest beef exporter in the entire world. Also, you don't own cows. Nobody can own somebody else like a slave. So your wording already shows that your mindset is like a slave owner. Cows only produce milk for their babies. For some reason, people seem to think cows produce milk because they're cows. They don't. They produce milk for their babies. So to make them pregnant, you have to impregnate them. Like farmers put themselves inside the cows and make them pregnant. They carry their baby for 9 months. When the mother gives birth to her baby, the baby has to be removed because otherwise the baby would be drinking the milk intended for them. Okay, so the baby is kidnapped and sent to slaughter if they're male. Now the mother then produces the milk, grieving for her baby that you're taking her breast milk intended for her baby. Like if you're God, if you think God is real, that's your religion. If you think he created cows to produce milk for us, then you are truly brainwashed. Cows only produce milk for their babies. And when they are no longer profitable, they all go to a slaughterhouse to be killed. The reason these industries exist is because people have the mindset that you have, that we can commodify animals and take things from them like a resource, like a machine. They're not machines. They're not resources. They're individuals with their own experience of their own life who just want to live just as much as you do. Give them love. Give them love. Don't commodify them and use them. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. Once upon a time when there were slaves, the slave owners used to say, oh, it's okay, I treat my slaves with the utmost respect. I give them a comfy bed. It's all fine. It's all fine. Like, but they are still my slave. You're using someone as a machine, as a commodity, as a slave for you, and it's not okay. Give them the equal rights to their life. That's all you got to do, just for their bodily autonomy. 1 in the chat if you're a vegan. 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse today. Today you're going to be witnessing cows coming into this evil hellhole, which they name a slaughterhouse. I call it a murder house. Yeah.
Where can people get help if they want help going vegan?
Yeah, go into our description. There's Challenge 22. You can go and sign up to that for free. They'll help you with nutrition advice, all sorts of things that you need. If you're like, oh, I have this much money, I need to buy this much, I've got 4 kids, what do I do? They will help you the entire time. But I would advise the first thing that you do is go to the documentary called Dominion. Dominion on YouTube. Go and see that first, because when you see what happens to the animals, you will never be able to unsee it. And then you'll know why vegan. When I saw what happened, instant. They're shouting.
What are you shouting about?
Then? Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded. A kill floor worker just come out and started shouting at the security. What are they saying? Oh, those trucks going to be coming in? Yeah, number 1, guys, in the chat if you're vegan. Oh, as you are looking at this here, this is a slaughterhouse. You're looking at a lairage right now. I don't know if you can see any cows in there. Let me know if you can see cows in there by putting red hearts. Put loads of red hearts in the comments if you can see any cows in that lairage. That's where they're going to wait before they get sentenced to the kill floor, where they have a bolt gun in their head, they have a knife stabbed in their throat, they then get pulled up by one leg and they bleed out. They bleed to death, likely dismembered whilst they're still alive, de-skinned. In fact, someone we know who used to work in a slaughterhouse said that he witnessed with his own eyes a cow on the kill line, hanging up by one leg, still alive, having her skin pulled off her face while they stabbed into her throat and pulled her baby out. She was pregnant. They then cut the sack of the baby and left the baby on the floor to suffocate and die on the slaughterhouse floor. Standard practice, that is, not a cruelty case. Standard, that is. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe. We've got security all over here. They're all going like and chatting and stuff. So weird things happen in these places. I mean, it's an evil place, right? They're killing sentient beings just like you, your children, your family. These are childlike beings who did nothing wrong. They're gentle. They could be horrible, these cows. They could use their strength against the humans, but they choose not to because they're kind. How dare we do this to the most kindest individuals on our planet? Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe. I can see the security even hiding behind the corner. They're embarrassed to be here.
Yeah.
If you're embarrassed to work here, then you should leave. If anyone is embarrassed to work in these industries, that is the right feeling to have and you should leave. Defend the animals on this side of the gate. Join us and defend us. In fact, if any activists right now on our live stream, please get involved with Project Livestream. We have activists on June the 19th placed outside slaughterhouses all around the world to defend the animals, to unite for the animals as one voice for them, to show people the reality of what happens to pigs, chickens, cows, turkeys, beagle puppies, animal testing facilities, evil. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Anyone joining this live stream, what animals are inside that lairage?
Cows. Cows are inside the slaughterhouse. Dairy cows from the dairy industry, beef cows from the beef industry. Beef cows are usually around 18 months old when they go to a slaughterhouse. 18-month-old babies. Mother cows are usually around 3 to 5 years old when they go to a slaughterhouse after having pregnancy forced upon them, after having their babies kidnapped from them. What's happening? He's coming back now. Having their babies kidnapped from them over and over. You'll notice as well, big factory farm trucks turn up to these places of evil, and small holding trucks turn up to these places with maybe 1 or 2 cows in the back of the trailer. They both, like Steve said, they both get stabbed in the throat with the same knife. There is no difference between factory farming, small holding, local, whatever. The mouthpiece is the only thing that's different, because you know the person more, they're shouting still. You know the person more individually, you tend to trust them more, but they're just a mouthpiece. They smile to you, but in fact, to the animals, they're absolute monsters. Every single animal farmer is a monster to the animals, in my opinion, and I'll stand by that fact forever, because it's true. Every single investigation you see, what happens to those poor dear animals, evil. The standard practice is horrific. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe.
Why do good people go vegan?
Why do good people go vegan? Because they have a heart and a soul, and then they're a normal person. They have empathy. When you have empathy and you see something bad happening to someone else, you want to stop it. That's our natural instinct as a human. Our natural instinct is to protect, not to oppress. So that's why when when people go, oh, humans are dying all around the world right now. Yeah, it's sad. It's horrible. But you're not the reason for that. But if you're not vegan, you are the reason for this. You are the direct cause of this, in fact. It's all supply and demand. You pay here in the supermarkets or animal testing facilities, they oppress animals over here. But what you don't see is that these industries have a lot of money that they put up here as like a blind to blindfold you to make you think that what happens over here is okay, when it's absolutely evil. Kids are brainwashed literally from a child. Every single person is born vegan. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Please subscribe. Kids are given in nursery, well, they're given Old MacDonald had a farm. They're brainwashed from the moment they are born. What chance does any child stand of doing the right thing unless their parent has broken out of that brainwashing? In fact, we've got friends who have vegan kids who are incredible from birth. And they're the most healthiest little kids you've ever seen, but they also walk around with kindness. When they see animals in the field, they're like, oh, like they know what's going to happen. Whereas most kids would be like, oh, look, there's a sheep in the field. Oh, look. And the parents go, oh, yeah. But they don't tell them that that sheep is going to be on their plate. They don't tell them that sheep is going to have their tail carved with no anesthetic or their genitals removed. What's happening?
What's going on in there?
Can you see anything?
No.
There's loads of noise over that fence. Evil place. 1 in the chat, guys, if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe.
What are you doing here today? What's your objective?
I'm outside. Yeah, I'm outside a slaughterhouse today. Here to try. Sorry, I thought that was a truck. It really looked like it. Here to try and defend the animals from people who are currently paying for the oppression of animals. And that could be you. If you're not vegan, that's what you pay for. But we're not here to hate on you. Not here to hate on you. We're not here to be like, oh, you're a terrible person. We're here to turn your head against the industry that lied to you. We've got a camera, we're live streaming to show you the truth. We're here at a slaughterhouse, literally just showing you what happens. We're going to show you the animals coming in today. That's our main objective, because when people see the animals coming in, they change. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're an open-minded person, but you're not vegan, but you do love animals and you do have empathy, but you just don't know the industry. You're a number 2. Put 2 in the chat so we can see who's in the room. 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. An anti-vegan is someone who loves to hurt animals, who loves to stab them in the throat, and they think that that's okay.
Where can people see inside these facilities?
What?
The documentary and the links.
What the, yeah.
Inside slaughterhouses.
Yeah, I didn't know if you meant this one specifically because there's FSA breaches here. So if you want to see inside these facilities, I urge you to watch Dominion on YouTube. Go to a link in the description so you can see. Also in the link in the description, Joey Carbstrong. Go and watch Joey Carbstrong's investigation. He has exposed many farms and slaughterhouses, and without a camera being put inside these places and showing the world, nobody would ever know what happens to the animals. Like, he just did a massive investigation that's just come out, and you got people there in uproar about it, right? And we're like, well, that happens all the time in all the slaughterhouses, just that there was a camera put in that and then come out. Because it takes a lot of time and effort to go on those missions and do that for the animals. And once it's out the world, then it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and subscribe. These people who work in these industries are completely brainwashed. They're completely brainwashed. They are conditioned to a level of violence the normal person isn't conditioned to. And don't forget, these individuals who work at slaughterhouses walk around like the streets where your kids are. People who kill every single day will walk into Tesco's where you're there with your child. Evil. They should be locked up for the rest of their lives. Anybody who can stab someone in the throat is a monster, an absolute monster. Number 1, guys, in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe.
People are saying that they could go vegetarian, but vegan's too extreme.
No, vegan's the least extreme thing you can ever do. It's someone who just doesn't oppress animals. Being vegetarian is so extreme. The dairy industry is one of the most abusive industries on the planet, along with the egg industry. Male chicks in the egg industry are blended up alive. 1 in the chat, guys, if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Oh, poor babies. Here's your small-holding farmers.
Evil farmers, evil, disgusting farmers. How dare they? Sorry, babies.
I'm so sorry, you dear angels.
So sorry.
We love you. We're trying. We're trying our very, very best.
See what I mean by smallholding farmers? Smallholding farmers going in there thinking that's okay. We're going to now show you the unloading of that. So,
Keep an eye out for the next truck because this is what they do.
yeah. You right, talk for a sec whilst I look at who's in there. Poor
I
animal.
think they were facing the other way. I think you got their backs. Guys, hearts in the chat for the animals. Hearts in the chat for the animals. One in the chat if you're vegan. Two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations are free. If you don't care about animals, 1, 2, or 3.
Poor baby beef cows.
Everyone is talking about small holding farmers. There they are. Here's a small holding farmer bringing his animals to the same facility them factory farm trucks left on.
How dare he? How could he? See what I mean by they bring these animals here as if they're like nothing. They drop them off to a dustbin for all they care. Animal farmers don't care about animals. Do not believe their lies. They're evil, disgusting monsters to the animals. It's not okay. Those dear animals are on that truck now. Trust in that person. Trust in that animal farmer who's now betraying them, committing the ultimate act of betrayal. That's what he's doing. The ultimate act of betrayal. How dare you let someone trust you and then betray them, send them into a dungeon of hell where they don't know anybody, and those people are going to stab those individuals in the throat. That's what you're witnessing now. That's why we're here with so much passion and rage and urgency, because this is a moral duty for you to change it right now. This is urgent that you change right now. This is how they'll come out in these trucks. In these trucks. They were sentient individuals. In these trucks would be the body parts of mother cows and beef cows. Every body part, every single body part that they picked up was a baby who didn't want to die. Every single animal you consume is a baby who didn't want to die. You can leave this though. We spoke to the truck drivers who's left. It's horrible in there, right? We know a lot of people who have actually left after what they've seen inside. Don't forget you can leave as well because every person's like a cog in the machine. You may not be realising like what you were picking up because you're like a truck driver, but you can leave. Do the right thing. Watch Dominion on YouTube and see the reality. It's pure evil. Pure evil. Look, non-vegans can't even slide a gate across because they're so weak. So I mean, weak people oppress animals. Weak people. These animals would have lived a life of hell. They would have been on that farm. They would have been taken away from their mother for 18 months, lived alone, maybe not had that much water or food because the animal farmers and smallholding farmers forget they can't be bothered. They don't want to wake up early. They're busy. They want to go out for the day and the animals are left with no food and water. And now that disgusting, evil, monstrous person has taken them inside a facility that has FSA breaches, leaving them here to die, leaving them here to be stabbed in the throat. See what I mean by premeditated murder, in my opinion. They know when they forcibly breed those animals into existence, when they make their mothers pregnant, they know they want to send them to a slaughterhouse to profit off their flesh. Disgusting. Their flesh, their babies, their milk. For what? A sandwich that you won't even remember. You can't even remember what you ate for breakfast or for lunch 2 days ago. Absolutely horrific. You could have had something else. Live vegan and defend these animals. This is only happening because you're not vegan. This is a slaughterhouse. This farmer is betraying these babies. He's betraying those babies. How could he? How could anybody do this? If you don't understand or you think it's okay, if you have a dog or cat at home, you look them in the eyes, how would you feel if you suddenly picked them up, put them in your car and took them into a slaughterhouse? I'm sure you would never. I'm sure the thought of that would break your heart. It's no different this. Sending these poor babies, look at them as they walk off to their own death. Trust in the person who has let them down, trusting that evil monster. In my opinion, they're all evil monsters, those animal farmers. Every single slaughterhouse worker is. Breaks your heart being here, rips your heart out seeing those poor animals going in there, crying out. You hear them mooing as they're coming off there. They don't want to go in. They're forced to go in there. And if they don't go in there, they get prods out and they start prodding them. Cows are gentle. They're sweet, childlike beings who just want to live. Premeditated murder.
So sad, isn't it? So sad. It's actually heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to know these places exist. It's heartbreaking to see that there are humans the other side of that gate allowing this, facilitating this to happen. I don't associate myself with them people. I'm not the same as them people.
They're made differently. People like that are the psychopaths of the world, in my opinion. Normal people could not stab someone else in the throat, but these people do it every single day. And in fact, every security person who works here as well is exactly the same. They're all a cog in the machine, especially here. We've been here for ages and we've been telling these people what happens. Pregnant mothers going in here, babies going in here. Behind me, you just witnessed 2 individuals from a small holding farmer. When people say, oh, local though, local, it's just a lie. It's just a lie. Don't be mugged off. Don't let them mug you off. You're better than that. Don't let them treat you like a fool. Don't believe their lies, because when you believe their lies, all they're making from you is money. That's all it is. It's a business. I can hear them in there shouting right now. And now he's getting back in his car and he'll drive out in a moment. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. None of them do, because if they cared, what's he doing? He's like, have a look on there. He's like getting dressed or something.
Yeah, he's got overalls. I think he's going to wash down that van because of, well, you tell him, why do they wash the vans down, Lisa?
Yeah, because when animals go to slaughter, cows can smell up to 5 miles away, by the way. They can smell up to 5 miles away. They get so scared.
Yeah, it's going to wash down.
They get so scared that they poo and wee everywhere. They poo and wee everywhere. Maybe we should show him. Maybe we should show him. Show him this part. Yeah. Do you want me to switch?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're not going to be able to see the shot. We're not going to be able to see the shot.
Okay. Here you go. Do you want me to have that?
Yeah, go on. Okay, guys. Please go into the description of this live stream. Please click on Dominion. Please watch Dominion. Please go and look at Joey Carshaw's channel. Look at his investigations. Go and see the reality and the truth of what actually happens. Good people are paying for some of the most horrific violence and never, ever questioning it. If you've come across this live stream, if you've come across this video today, today was the day that the universe put us in the right place for you to hear this message. Today's the day for you to change. To all the animal rights activists, to all the vegans who have been here from the beginning of this live stream and stayed with us all the way through and defended the animals so well in that live stream chat. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it so much. It helps the algorithm. It gets hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views now on the animals. Project live stream number 12 on the 19th of June, big main event. If you're not already involved, please get involved. Message us on Instagram and we can get you ready for it. We're going to see you in the next stream, guys. Please keep fighting for the animals. They need us so much. And we're so sorry to all the animals who have come inside here and all the other slaughterhouses all around the world today.